5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen and in-betweeners, on this week's On the Rocks Live from Home edition, we will overall stand-up guy, Stan Zimmerman of Golden Girls, Gilmore Girls, and many, many more, and me, your favorite host with the sassy most. Raise a glass and let the drinks begin. This is On the Rocks with Alexander, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Lord have mercy, it's going to be a bumpy night, buttons and bows and pounding pants to the mailbox, but I can't remember if I've seen an episode of Judge Judy before from season 2, and she's had 432 seasons. It's called a gift. What can I say? Today's show is presented by the Funky Clothing Company with striped retro slim fit and more shirts available in fabulous patterns, caps and the funniest socks you've ever seen. Funk things up with a little and buy the Funky Co. Right now, receive 15% off your first orders. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram at thefunkyco.com. This show is brought to you by Straw Hut Media on the Nation on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Pandora. And if you want to watch the video, catch us on YouTube and on the Facebook pages of Trending Now, GED Magazine, I Love Gay LGBT, and of course on the Rocks Radio Show Facebook. And we are streaming on the Trending Now app and on Roku on 2 channels, out at .etv and Kingman Productions, Sierra Brits. I don't care. I will zoom in and show up. Info at ontherocksradioshow.com. Send us your question, comments, and nudes. All right, let me introduce my guest co-host, the Dean of Entertainment, no stranger to On the Rocks. Stan Zimmerman has worked on many television series, including season 1 of The Golden Girls, Brothers, Fame, Hooperman, Something Wilder, Roseanne, Wanda at Large, and the highly successful 5th season of Gilmore Girls. Besides writing and producing many television pilots, he has co-written the Emmy and Peabody Award-winning Annie for ABC. They didn't call me to play Mrs. Hannigan. What gives? They have also written for film, including both Brady Bunch movies. Stan's web series work includes some of your favorite celebrities, including Barry Bostwick, Emmy-nominated Mindy Sterling, Sandra Bernhard, Olivia d'Abo, and many, many more. Stan has returned to the stage in recent years with his original works, as well as his directorial, A Knife to the Heart, starring Wendie Malick, will stream online as part of Play Per View Presents on Saturday, July 25th at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tickets are available at eventbrite.com. Please welcome back our most regular, well, if he's taking his Metamucil, our most regular guest, Stan Zimmerman. Hello, Stan. Metamucil. I'm getting to that age I actually need Metamucil.
I think maybe Red Bull, if they can send it to me if they want an old Jewish influencer.
I love that. So, Stan, all of our friends, our mutual friends, are literally in entertainment, literally quarantined at home, trying to stay positive. Have you seen any benefits of all of us creatives being stuck at home?
Whoa, that's a loaded question. Before Unavailable, like I've been going for 5 years, wanting to get Sherry Shepherd and Kim Whitley to do a reading of this play called A Couple of White Chicks Sitting Around Talking with the X across white.
Yeah.
They were always trying the play, and it was so great to hear them do it. But now I want to do a full production. Of course, now theater is just shut down, at least until 2021. I'm hoping and praying it somehow can come back before the end of the year. That's been very difficult for me and my other friends in this business.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. But just like you said, I've had access to celebrities, and I've also been able to take part of certain Pride events globally that I wouldn't have if it wasn't for Zoom and for what we're going through. So there is some good out there. But let's bring on the lady of the hour. Wendie Malick is a former fashion model, still looks better in a swimsuit than I ever will. She's a Golden Globe and multiple Emmy nominee, known for her roles in various television comedies. HBO's Dream On, one of the original HBO huge hits. Also, Just Shoot Me, Frasier, Hot in Cleveland, and American Housewife lead a career that includes over 50 guest appearances on television shows, including Saturday Night Live, Baywatch, MacGyver, NYPD Blue, LA Law, Mad About You, Tales from the Crypt, Seinfeld, X-Files, Law and Order, a fun crossover on All My Children, Mom, Grace and Frankie, This Is Us, Modern Family, Billions, and the Disney animated series the Owl House. She gets to play a number of sexy, bitchy characters. So obviously, she is my spirit animal. Please welcome to the show, Wendie Malick. There we go. There's Wendie Malick.
Okay, I can't see you, but if you can see me, we'll just live with it.
You look fantastic.
You look amazing, as usual. Okay, Wendie, we're just going to dive right in. I have to say, when I told people I was interviewing the Wendie Malick, everyone, regardless of generation, sexual orientation, or genre of TV they are fans of, everyone said, Wendie Malick, I love her. You have been in our homes with a career that with us on all of our favorite shows.
And it's very strange because I realize that I have been in most people's bedrooms, or at least their dens over time. So when they hear my voice, there's something where that's usually how people recognize me. Because I go through various hairdos and things. But it's usually when I start talking, they go, "Oh, you sound just like that woman on TV." It is funny, but I get it. I mean, we often, fellow actors, you'll be around people and say, I know you from somewhere. Usually you've like worked together 30 years ago or something. But I find it very comforting, actually. I get it right. That really makes me crazy. And if they ask me to take my sunglasses off, and it's early in the morning on a flight, I go, no, you're getting me with sunglasses, or just get me walking away. That's my best angle.
What about if
on the telephone in a stall in a public
restaurant? Oh my God, I can't. Oh my God,
it happens more than you can imagine.
And they haven't washed their hands. Hello, sanity.
The world's gone mad. What can I say?
Literally, it's all gone mad. Sitcoms have literally changed over the years, from how sitcoms look in front of the camera, but also how the business and the way that they're shot behind the camera. How have sitcoms changed the most from your perspective as a regular actor, as well as a reoccurring or as a guest star? Because the experiences are totally different. How has sitcom making changed the most from your perspective?
Well, now it's not happening. And apparently I have a live audience, and I think that's going to be the case for a while. Maybe they'll spread the writers out all over the gallery. And it's so sad. I mean, the heart of God, I miss that. I was supposed to be doing a play right now with my niece, who is 18 and going to Sarah Lawrence in the fall, and my friend Dan Loria, and Lee Blessing wrote a play for us that we would be in rehearsal for right now. And of course, that, like everything else, has been pushed to sometime next year. And I do look forward to the day that we can be crammed into a theater together with
not an audience.
Well, as you guys know, we've moved so much into these single camera comedies. And there are a lot of things you can do that I like a lot, but it's not the theatrical experience you have when you have an audience. Sitcoms are total hybrids. And if the writing is really good and funny, and Stan knows, he's been on some great ones too, there's nothing quite like it. The schedule is great for actors, not so much for the writers, but there's something about knowing when something, the nuance and subtleties that perhaps they don't always go for in multicams. But I think that the heyday of sitcoms is over. About that, Stan?
Well, except that Golden Girls has been one of the biggest hits on Hulu during COVID, because I think people do want kind of that familiarity and that people that they know and love.
Well, you may be right, and maybe there will be a whole resurgence because people want to be with other people enjoying stuff. It's like you want to be. It's so interesting to me whenever I see people I haven't seen for a while and we're trying to socially distance. It's almost impossible not to go in and hug somebody you haven't seen for a long time that you're really fond of.
Yeah.
It's not human. It's not our nature. We are touchy-feely creatures.
That's why you should be your own show now, because like Alexander was saying in the beginning, you are part of our families. And I think people would want to have you in our living rooms or bedrooms, bringing humor to us and making people laugh. I think we really need to laugh now because
you had a stroke, and my father is 100. So my sister and I are here sort of trying to figure out like what is going to happen next. And whenever we can make each other laugh, it's such a godsend. My Lord, we're just all dealing with this crazy upside down, unprecedented time in ways where we so need to find humor wherever we can. It's so true.
I want to talk about a little blip in your early career. A Wilhelmina model in New York City in your 20s, and then you go work for Republican Jack Kemp. How did that happen? How was it entering that environment as
well,
a
you
young,
have it,
gorgeous
you
woman?
have it, you're chronologically upside down, backwards.
Oh,
sorry.
Well, in life, I'm upside down.
You didn't do your homework, or maybe it's just wrong on Wikipedia. No, I went to work for Jack Kemp. I'm from Buffalo, and he was our congressman, and our families used to ski together. My dad, if you ever want to work in Washington when you get out of college, let me know. And I thought, how great, what a fabulous thing to do. And it was during Watergate, so it was a really exciting time to be there. And I was an intern, and on Friday nights, congressmen would dim the lights and have all of their, it was quite something. Oh my God, that was a long time ago when people didn't, they didn't sort of advertise everything all over the, I took good care of myself. I was able to take care of myself.
Is the most amazing looking actor on television.
The most amazing looking mature actors.
But this started from like day one on TV. Since the very first day you stepped on set to being the hottest actor, giving us voice on the Disney series as a cartoon. And your characters are usually steeped in a sexuality, known for their beauty. Did that play with your psyche at all, or feel like there was an objectification with your acting roles or with your acting style?
No, because all the characters I've played were legends in their own mind. And I love that aspect of, I was never an ingenue. And when I first started working, when I first started actually making sure somebody mean, a lawyer, somebody, but I killed like 3 husbands in one season.
God, I wish
it was great. It was at Pebble Beach, and then halfway through the shoot, they decided that I was doing it right-handed, which I am, and I could swing. I like to look like I know what I'm doing, but it doesn't always work out that way. So anyway, once I did start getting these roles where I was kind of too fabulous for words, it was always sort of tongue in cheek, and that I was the clueless one, and I really had a lot of foibles and neuroses, and those characters are so much fun to play. God, they're fun. So it's sort of sending up, what was it? It might have been, what was the one Jamie Lee Curtis did with Richard?
Anything But Love?
Yeah.
Anything But
I was
Love.
on that. Anything But Love. Yeah, I did that one. That might have been the first one I did.
Were you scared? Is that a conflict?
No, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I liked it. I liked having the audience. I really enjoyed it. It was, yeah. There were a bunch of those sort of strange ones that didn't go on for a long time. But that's when I met Brian Dennehy.
You had an appearance on Saturday Night Live, and Elliot Gould was the host. Do you remember that experience and what was going on backstage in the 80s?
Listen, I hung out at Saturday Night Live from 75 to 80. A lot of those guys were my friends. So I was there almost every Saturday night. We were doing on Saturday nights, and would make sure that we were either tuned into that show or we were there. And that was the 70s. It was a wild time, but I'm sure glad I got to live through it. Oh.
And did you go to the parties afterwards? It was on.
We'd hang out at 30 Rock upstairs on that floor, and it was
wild.
Those were the days. Oh yeah, I think I've
heard those stories. There was a party before, during, and after.
Yeah, I think I've had 9 lives, and I've used up about 7.5.
Is what exactly makes you say yes? Because you've done the mainstream stuff, you've done smaller projects, you've done cable, you've done major network shows. What makes you say yes? And like doing a digital play like Stan's play. Well,
first thing is often the writing, if I respond to that, or it can be, what's the most interesting thing I can do right now? What's like something that's or sometimes scary, sometimes I think you're offered things.
I want to talk about not getting the part of Diane in Cheers.
It's such a ridiculous story. It's so stupid. I don't know who ended up working with her years later when she had that short-lived sitcom.
Good advice.
Odd.
Good
What
advice.
was that?
Good advice.
Was that the name of it? Was that the name of her sitcom? Shelley Long's?
Yeah. I think
Well, maybe it was in those days. She was a little hard to crack. I like to go play with my friends on sets, and we were always very careful about all the shows I've been on. We always welcomed the guests with leave your diva at the door, because it really was. We wanted everybody to come in and feel like they could grab their cup of coffee. That's karmic too. We ended up having great people who all wanted to come back. So I think on any show, you have to really extend yourself to bring in those people who are just there.
Stage and during rehearsals, it definitely bleeds over into the chemistry that you see on screen. You can tell. I have a number of friends that have guest starred on some of the shows that are, I hear it's from the experience on some of the sets. I won't name any show names, but there's certain sets that it's like, let's fit the process. And it's become like a production machine.
And there, and there are actors. That's a testament to their acting chops.
But it's also
not as
a
much
testament to your character, and it really starts at the top. And if shadowed on 14 shows, and Wendie was so welcoming, and she's like, "Who are you?" and wanting to sit and talk with me, and that really trickles down to everybody on the crew. If it starts with.
But we took really good care of them and always made sure we gave them bonuses at the end of the year. So that's important to me.
What is your process like when you approach the very first table? But what's your approach when you sit at a table read? And Stan, I would love your insight to this as well. Have you done all of your work before? Do you wait for that table read for it to kind of...
Sometimes you can be really surprised. I've read things on the page that I didn't think worked, and then you get to a table, figure out, particularly in comedy, like how something plays and what kind of a, it's like, particularly on television or I'll read the script a few times. I'll make little notes about, maybe it gives you a whole new way of looking at it. It's what do you think, Stan?
Sudden, the network will come in and have a bazillion notes, and then you're sent home, and then we're having to completely rewrite it literally that day. Nobody likes that. We want the actors fun to watch that as well.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. You can tell when there's a big thud and you're doing a table read and just nothing's working. That's really sad, because then those poor writers are going to be pulling an all-nighter. And sometimes for days. We had a few episodes on Hot in Cleveland where they just could never get it, and they finally just jettisoned the whole storyline and had to rewrite it from scratch on like a Wednesday night, and we pre-shoot on Thursdays.
And do you like giving notes after table reads? Do you like to be involved in that part of it?
Sometimes I could have suggestions and stuff, but I actually don't mind. I remember on Hot, we would.
And did you have to audition, or they just offered you that role?
No, I was offered. First, they offered me Joy, the part that Jane Leaves ended up doing.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to play her. I wanted to play an old has-been soap opera actress, and I even gave her a name. That was me. I wanted to call her Honor St. Raven. That was her name on her soap opera. I said, Honor St. Raven is my favorite fake name. And I wanted her to be someone who had been on the same, like just a nowhere person who was too old to be hired, and what next, and had no life outside of her show. So that was just intriguing to me, because I was, an aging actress, and thinking that would be really fun to play with her. And then I got to name her Victoria Chase. So I got to help create. And I'm so glad Jane was Joy, because she was perfect for that role.
Yeah, that show was just perfectly cast. The guest stars were just amazing. Wendie, you have such a unique comedic timing, and it has a definite style. You know how people recognize your voice. Your comedic timing is also very recognizable. Did you form that when you were studying acting, way back when, before you professionally got involved, or did that kind of comedic timing come over time?
I actually have stolen shamelessly from my mother. It's
Really?
Pretty hilarious. Yeah, my family is very wacky, but my mom and her friends used to carry on with this voice going, oh my, not from her, but my grandmother was an opera singer and was quite grand and fabulous. And no, I think I stole from all the people I admired growing up, both professionally and just personally. And that was one of the really cool things on Hot in Cleveland was ending up having Carol Burnett play my mother. I mean, I just loved you and modeled myself after. And it's such a privilege when you get to like play in the sandbox with the people that you have been looking up to your whole life.
And be like, I've made it. Like, I'm here. I've I'm legit now.
I'm not sure if there was an exact moment, but I know that I felt like I had somehow broken, and that was when I was just doing drama stuff, dramatic yes things. And I played my first series with Jim Naughton and Eileen Heckert. I mean, some really fine actors, Dorian Harewood, and then Lou Ferrigno was the EMT, the time with the mask on, much like we're doing today. And all I had were eyes. So my eyes had so much on it. We used to all put because we did so many surgeries and I didn't know what I was talking about. So we would drink margarita. What we were supposed to say. Anyway, from there, I got to go do Dream On. And at the end of the first season, 5 years, that was a blast. And that kind of, I think, put me on the map.
Yeah, we just all had to like watch you and find out more about you. It was so cool.
Wendie, I got this question from an equality, racial diversity, ageism. And as I mentioned before, your career has really surpassed many changes in the industry. How do you deal with the subject of ageism and certain roles at a certain time, I believe?
Well, I think in terms of body image, ageism, of being pretty, but just of welcoming you in is so I think it's important, it certainly is to me, to sort of take as good care of myself as I can, because I want to keep going. My mother is a perfect example of someone who has laughed a lot in her life, and her lines are beautiful to me, because it's something that I can't say I always embrace it, but I'm trying to go, no, this is good. This is because I've spent an awful lot of time laughing. And what shape are we supposed to be, and how perfect are we supposed to look? And I sometimes newscaster I see on television has that hair. What is this thing? Can you see what I'm doing? But they have those strange long. They all have this. Why? I don't know. It seems kind of sad.
What stations are you watching?
Like CNN.
No. Wendie, played so many different roles, but what's a type of role that you haven't played yet that you would love?
Really that far from where I've been, but I do want,
and I know how to do it.
Who would play your George, Wendie?
I'm not sure yet. I mean, I am a little old to do Martha, but I think I could pull it off.
Yeah, of course. No.
With real Jen.
You know what I think you guys should do? You, the cast of Just Shoot Me should get together and then do Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
You know, we still have dinners like 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And adore each other. And I mean, they just are the best bunch.
So my mom wants to know, what are you watching on TV during quarantine? And are you able to just watch a show, or since you've been in
so little television, I have so much going on right now between my parents, and I have I just have a really full life at the moment. Beautiful. Been watching
sometimes
movies.
They're better than people.
Sometimes, much easier, much easier. It's just divine. It's a BBC, whatever. I think it was BBC, but it's just charming and lovely. I don't usually, it has to make me laugh. And sometimes I watch travel shows because I miss traveling, and I do.
So I'm trying to see things that I, don't have in my
personal
Wait a second.
Life. Did you say did you say you're watching cooking shows because you're trying to lose your coronavirus 15?
Yeah, because I'm enjoying the food that other people are eating. I'm like, okay.
Oh, it's vicarious for you.
Yeah, driver. I've stalked too many of my Postmates drivers. It's like, leave me alone. Okay, so let's talk about A Knife to the Heart. July 25th. It's going to be a huge digital event. You can get tickets at Eventbrite. Stan, how do you direct actors, especially actors of Wendie's esteem, digitally? Like, I can't even imagine doing that.
Very, very us developed the piece and pushing me and Christian as writers to really deepen the piece. It's very, very funny, but it's also, but doing it digitally is very, very unique because it's a lot more technical than you think, but you can still give very definite no. Doing things like this and going into homes that we wouldn't necessarily reach if we were doing it in LA somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing readings. It's really fun, and it's a way to keep your. I don't even know when that was, but
I watched it. I saw you.
Yeah, no, it was really a wonderful play, great experience. But I am so bad at like when you push, because technically I'm not very, as you can tell from this experience, I'm not great at this kind of thing.
And you did it with our friend.
I need an engineer.
Yes.
She did a play with.
All right, everyone can go to eventbrite.com, put in a knife to the heart, and get your tickets. July 25th, 2 p.m. Pacific time. I cannot wait to see it because I know Stan, the other original leads are back as well. Andrea Bowen and
Josh Zuckerman and Todd Sherry.
Oh, we love Todd Sherry. And Todd Sherry, I'm so glad to see him back working, especially after his horrible COVID experience. Put on your goddamn mask.
Did he get it?
Really bad. He got it bad.
Very bad.
Oh, and he's okay.
Yes, he's great. So we're very lucky. We're very lucky.
Yes.
Good.
Everybody wear your masks. They make designer ones now. You'll look fine. Actually, you'll look better. Okay, so I know you guys have to run off to rehearsal, but I want to play a little rapid fire questions. Are you game, Wendie Malick?
Am I gay?
No, game.
Oh.
Please don't say David Spade.
Huey Lewis.
Ooh, yes. That's news. Most awkward celebrity meeting or scene partner. Not that they're a terrible person, but it was just awkward.
Huey Lewis.
Oh, no. Her on 6th Avenue and 57th Street, right near my old apartment. And I was so gobsmacked that I actually went up to her and got down on my knees.
Well, I'll tell you what, Wendie, if we were in the studio like we should be, I would have done the same thing.
You'd be on your knees.
Yes, I would. I'd be proposing. Or you know what? Maybe I'll just wait until you're in an airport bathroom. We'll do it that way.
You are not, well.
Time and redo.
Dr. Bridget Blaine.
Okay. What is one role that you did not get that you still think about?
Wow. Oh, there are quite a few of those. Screen test with Steven Spielberg and George Lucas in New York at the Sherry Netherlands Hotel, and they really liked me, and it went to what's her name, Karen Allen.
A favorite scene that you have filmed that still affects you today, whether because it was so much fun or because you felt you did a really good job, or there was just something different about it.
Oh, on The American President. It was with Annette Bening and Marty Sheen. I mean, not Marty Sheen, Annette Bening and Michael Douglas Jr.
Michael Douglas, yes. I've seen that movie like 20.
Rob Reiner, who is just one of the loveliest directors around. And we actually got to go rehearse, and he'd cater fabulous food for lunch. And we had like weeks of actors and with Rob and the crew. And that was Aaron Sorkin. His first most I think it's the best thing Annette Bening and Michael Douglas ever did. I loved it.
It's a great movie that really stands the test of time. Like I said, I was just going to say that. I was like, oh God, if only. Everybody, you can find Wendie Malick on Instagram at Wendie Malick, and also Facebook fan page, Wendie Malick, and that's
We don't have enough time. We got to go.
Real fast. Oh, come on, Stan. You have to replace one Golden Girl. Who is it, and who are you replacing them with?
Holy
rapid fire.
Don't make me say that.
I loved watching during quarantine. That's just embarrassing.
The worst show? CNN.
Oh.
Jenna Rollins, but it was Amanda Plummer. And I literally got a car, jumped out of the car, and was like, oh my God, you're so fantastic.
Stan, an actor who has passed that you would have loved to have written a sitcom for.
Well, I turned down writing for her, and it's one of the biggest regrets, the Madeline Kahn show.
Oh my God. Talk was just on TV this last week, and that was one of the very first films that she ever did.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
But her song in Blazing Saddles, I'm tired of being inspired. No, it's so tired. She was brilliant.
Okay, Stan, tell everybody where they can find and follow you.
ZimmermanStan.com, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. And come watch Knife to the Heart.
Knife to the Hearts. I cannot wait to see it online. Wendie and I don't have to wear pants. It's like two dreams come true.
Yes.
All right, everybody. That's all, folks. It's a grab bag of fun every weekend on The Rocks. Give us a like, a subscribe, a share. Send nudes if you want on therocksradioshow.com for all of this fun. Next week, we welcome Harvey Guillen from FX's hot show, What We Do in the Shadows. And hopefully we will be back in...
This has been another episode of On the Rocks. Tweet me and slide into my DMs on Twitter and Instagram at On the Rocks On Air. Find everything On the Rocks for free at OnTheRocksRadioshow.com. Subscribe, like, review, and share. Until next week, stay fabulous.